Talking with Jerry.
Okay, I'd like you to click on the like button. I'd also would appreciate it if you would subscribe to my podcast, Talk with Jerry. And this evening, we're going to be talking about Kanye West, Ye. And I'm going to come at this from a different perspective, I guarantee you, other than what you have been reading about or seeing commentary on YouTube or any other platform dealing with this as far as suggestions for what he should do, and more importantly, a compare and contrast with what is going on with him and how it affects the black community. So, T, I'll be waiting for you to ask me what do you think is going on with Ye.
So, Jerry, he's been in the news so much lately. I mean, totally canceled. What's your overall take on the situation?
Well, he's facing a lot of controversy because of the community that he, if you want to say he went after. And of course, there's a lot of power in the communications industry and in the industries that he is involved in, be it apparel, the music business, all platforms from live performances to recorded music. And he's offended some people, and rightfully so. They have exerted their power to, if you want to say, punish him or whatever. That is what we have seen take place over the past few weeks. So whether it's losing the ability to bank with Chase Bank, take all your money out, whether it's Adidas ending a deal that was very profitable for them, whether it's Balenciaga, the high fashion apparel line, whether it's Foot Locker or other chains that will not carry anything that he's associated with, his agency dropping him, two sets of attorneys representing him, even the Goodwill stores where you go to give away your used clothing to then donate. They don't even want his product. So that's really bad. So he's facing a very difficult uphill battle. But where I want to come at this, and I'd like the viewers to consider what Kanye is dealing with based on what he said that did not result in anyone's death. No one died. Didn't result in anyone being injured in any way that we know of as of yet, meaning beat up or anything of that nature. Or it did not result in any economic harm to a group because of what he said. Now, I'm not supporting what he said. I think it was foul, and I strongly disagree with his comments. But what I want to say is, how could all of these businesses, this whole separate industries, within a 10-day window, because of the comments he made that, as I said, didn't result in the death of anyone being beat up, anyone losing a lot of business. All of a sudden, he's done. But when we look at our community, some of these same companies are promoting death and destruction to black lives every day by.
Which is why I was thinking, are the companies right for just canceling him like that? In terms of, on that flip side, probably what you're about to say.
Well,
they do promote.
Well, this is a dicey issue because, companies are very concerned about their brand because they don't want to get canceled by the public. They don't want even rumors starting about their brand. Then yet alone, we all know what Kanye said. It's been national news. It's all over social media. I mean, it's everywhere. It's on your computer screen. It's on your phone. It's being talked about at the water cooler. So, they have to distance themselves, and they have to protect their brand. No matter what it costs them, because generating money from someone, and you've made money with someone, but now all of a sudden that's a detriment to the longevity of your product, you have to end that relationship quickly. But my point is, in our community, some of these same companies, some of these same brands are associated with people. And I'm not hating on anyone. I'm not going to call a brand out. I'm not going to call any hip hop artists out, or rappers, or if it's a singer, whoever, who we know associate with gang members or people who have been charged with violent crimes in our community, up to murder. We know that there are companies for decades that people complained, whether it was C. Dolores Tucker, who's dead. We had Bill Cosby, who people criticized, but he was just telling young people to do the right thing, and people turned against them. But now we have a 30-year plus cycle of young, impressionable people hearing constant vulgarity, misogyny, and more importantly, the acceptance of committing violence in our community. So it's on television and a lot of the TV shows. It's obviously in the music all over, all the time. And what are we to think when this is only done to our community, but these companies did not take any action similar to what they did with Kanye? And like I said, his words harmful, but no one died. No one ended up going out of business. But there are actions by others who are supported by some companies that we know are impacting our community in a negative way. And I wish that it would be something that could be addressed, because it is definitely hurting our community.
And what's so challenging is Kanye has hurt our community in the past. Several things he said, slavery was a choice. Several things he said with just his expression of the White Lives Matter, understanding what the Black Lives Matter stood for. But in all of those types of things, those companies never canceled him. They only canceled him when it offended something that they, control. So that's ironic. Let me ask you, there's so many people that are chiming in on Kanye, his situation, where he's going to end up. I mean, even to literally his demise. At this point, Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, what can he do to recover? What can he do to save his career, his brand, and literally, like I said, just save his life?
So if I was, I've been an artist manager. I've worked, as you know, with a lot of Fortune 500 companies, and then developed a lot of brands for myself, whether it was in my college years, developing my promotion company, Jerry Productions, which became the biggest promotional company in New York City, the most successful club promoter in New York City, and developed other brands like Black Expo, etc. I would first address Kanye this way. So, Kanye, you've said that people have robbed you. You've been cheated out of maybe millions of dollars. But I would throw it back at him as a question. No one forced you to hire the accountants that you chose, the finance people, the business people, the lawyers, the agents. That's a decision you made. This isn't the music business of the 1950s and 60s where the mob is going to force you to do certain things. You don't have any control. You don't have any say. So to whine about, I've been robbed by whoever, You chose those people when we know that there are competent black accountants, competent black attorneys, competent black production people, other than of major concert production companies who he may have dealt with. I just mentioned Live Nation. I'm not sure how many of his shows that they did, but a company that the black promoters sued because they were putting black promoters out of business. There are black promoters that he could have done his shows with and had a relationship with. So this is a two-part answer because not only did make a mistake doing that, this is a way for him to auto correct what he's went through. Because maybe what he should do is surround himself with the best black consultants in the entertainment industry. Find competent black attorneys, accountants, production people. Have the black promoters that are still left organize a tour for him. I think he needs to step away from the microphone for at least 90 days. I think he should hold a
That's
press
right.
conference and touch on what you said. Express an apology, a formal apology first to our community because that's who he was offending first. You can vote for who you want, but when you went to the White House with a MAGA hat, you signaled us, the black community, a very
Saying that was your
dark,
daddy.
yes, a very dark
Thought I had
chapter.
that in there.
Right, yeah,
Yes.
because we know that almost 95% of black people voted for either Hillary or Biden. They didn't vote for Donald Trump, and we know why, because of his uh, uh, so-called charges of racism, and there are many. So I think Kanye owes us as a community a formal apology in front of a microphone. Listen, Tiger Woods had to get up there at a microphone, and I don't think that was right, though, by the way, and apologize to all golf fans and to everybody for something that happened between him and his wife.
Right.
And it didn't really hurt nobody but his wife. But Kanye's statements about slavery was a choice. Kanye wearing many years ago a Confederate flag, their battle flag, on the armpit of a jacket
Mm.
was very harmful to us as a community. So I think
Right.
he needs to apologize to us and then apologize to others and to the Jewish community formally, make an announcement that he's stepping away for some time.
Right.
I think he mentioned that he was getting some counseling help, but I think what Kanye needs to do as far as that goes is go to Dr. Alvin Poussaint. You've got a lot of money. Here you have one of the best psychologists in the world who
Right.
was a consultant to the Cosby Show. And there are other people like Dr. Poussaint that can understand and feel what he's going through and that can help him and maybe won't even put him on any medication. So he needs to come home. That's what I'm saying. T. He needs to come home to his
Exactly.
community and get some nourishment. And he's mentioned, I'll go to Hawaii. I don't know who he knows in Hawaii or if he's going to look at the beach. Maybe he needs to pick somewhere in the motherland. Maybe he needs to go to Africa somewhere and get renourished and get away from all the hype, all of the trials and tribulations that he will always face here in America until he does some of these things.
Exactly.
Maybe that type of change can save him because
Exactly.
he's in some treacherous waters. Not financially, he can live comfortably, but to save his career, he needs to take some bold moves.
And to save his life. So you actually mentioned that Dr. Prasad available. He may want to consider that because, as you stated, he does need to come home to people that actually um, care about him as an African American. And can sometimes when you surround yourself with people who have been through similar circumstances, um, and bring him back in, reel him on back in, because I think with just the situation that he had with the, I don't know, alleged quote unquote um, bipolarness, or
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure of the actual term, um, you know, and then he's surrounding himself with people that they really only care about him as an artist, because him as an artist also feeds their family. So um,
Yeah,
it's interesting, very, very interesting in terms of just being able to get with the black promoters. And I don't know about the 90 days. I think he needs to do a little bit more time than that, because some of the things that he has said, it's going to take a lot of soul searching. But what I'm noticing with everything that's going on with Kanye, with all of the hip hop artists, things like that. It just seems like it's a time that not only the artists but African Americans in general, we need to kind of take a step back.
Oh yes, I totally agree. And as you know, we're going to talk about this in actually two separate podcasts. One dealing with the awakening of some hip hop artists and rappers, specifically Fat Joe and Young Jock, who in recent interviews have talked about and addressed some of the violent issues that have unfortunately led to the demise of certain individuals recently. And I don't like this term, oh, so and so passed. No, they didn't pass, they were murdered. Okay?
Right.
Young Dolph, um, you know, uh, it's just been one after another. It seems like every so many weeks. PNB Rock, and when you can't say when does it end, because it's not going to end. We're going to talk about the whole culture of what hip hop has become. And I don't and I'm one, though I was one of the pioneers of hip hop before it was even recorded music. I don't believe hip hop is black people's culture. I actually feel offended when I hear someone say, "Oh, our culture, hip hop is hip hop." No, our culture as black people was not jazz, it was not R&B, it was not disco. We never adopted music. Music is a part of your culture, perhaps, and only in a flash point in time, because certain genres of music become unpopular. That's a fact.
Correct.
So, you
Well,
know,
we're starting to see so many hip hop artists speak out on all of the violence that's taking place in our communities.
mhm.
Because I don't know, maybe they're having an awakening. Maybe themselves, are feeling threatened. Do you think it's a little too late, or?
Well, that's going to be I really think is an appropriate title for the next podcast, which is hip hop rap artists waking up, but is it too late? So let's just end it right there. And once again, reiterate that Kanye, come home. There are people in the community that care about you as a brother, despite the fact of some of the things that you've done. Maybe you can't come right back to the picnic, but maybe you can come to the birthday party, to the graduation ceremony, to the family dinner at some point. But you have to get your life together and know that there are people who care about you, who look like you, who won't have an agenda, and they're black promoters, they're black people who are in the medical profession, there are black people who are accountants and lawyers and business people and finance people. That if you sat down with the right people and just planned out what you want to do over the next 12 months, where you want to be a year from now, you can disappear and start working on that, letting your fans know, and turn your life around. So,
Exactly.
once again, it's Talk with Jerry. Please like and subscribe. We cover current event topics. I don't just talk about entertainment and the music business or just business in general. It's a lot of my life experiences and stories. It's current events, and you will learn something different. I will always come at things with a different angle, such as I did tonight, talking about how these same corporations that canceled Kanye so quick, they see the death and destruction in our community by what they are also endorsing and promoting, and unfortunately, nothing is being done.